I want to thank everybody for coming here tonight for this book event. This is about a novel called Conflicting Sanity. It's about a first-year psychotherapist dealing with the personal and professional struggles of being in the field for the first time. I want to thank Linda Stewart, the manager here on 2nd Street in New York City, for making this event possible, and all the staff that set everything up so that I could give the event. I want to give a brief thank you to Cynthia Bryant from World Talk Radio. She wrote a New York Times bestseller, Chicken Soup for the Gardener's Soul, with some other authors, and she has me on her show on World Talk Radio. It's an internet station, and it's top pick. And also Patricia Leslie from the Chronicle newspapers for bringing attention to this novel. I want to give you a little background about what brought me to write this novel. I was training to be a first-year psychotherapist myself, so you'll notice a pattern where the events I describe parallel a lot of the elements that I experienced working in the field for the first time. And then over the years I infused insights about the field as far as mental health treatment and elements of philosophy that you see in a character called Dr. Trace, who's the mentor of Frank Thomas. Frank Thomas is the first-year psychotherapist being trained. When I was thinking about coming here to New York City, I thought about what I would say as far as how it relates to the city. And I recapped on prior experiences of seeing faces of hope and faces of despair, and thinking about how the borders here in this city, with such an influx of purchases of books around culture, relates to it being a nexus of understanding and interest in exchanging ideas about what elevates society. And so that's partly why it's a special privilege to come to New York City. I wrote this book initially just to help myself as a coping mechanism after long days of work and working in the mental health field. I was working with people that were otherwise committed to psychiatric wards their whole lives. These cases involve people with the most severe forms of paranoid schizophrenia and bipolar disorder. And so initially I didn't intend to write a book that would be favored by a large number of people. Initially I simply did this instead of drinking alcohol or something else to cope. So for me it was like emotional oxygen to have this opportunity to write. And the other piece of it is that I set out just to write a few short stories. It was only once I took a course on art therapy where we had to do abstract art and then write poems about the artistry that I tapped into a pool of thinking that I never thought was possible prior to this. I gained a greater appreciation for painting, abstract art, things of that nature, because prior to this, I really didn't see the connection as to how it would bring out so many more ideas that were conflicted within me. So I wanted to thank James Taranzano for introducing me to these ideas, because he was the main art therapist that I worked with. I'm going to read the first section here about a character named James. James is one of the patients, and he takes the most extreme act that one can take. He is a diagnosis of paranoid schizophrenia. Here I am, writing a letter that is only in my mind up until this point. Each day, as I'm kept here in this hospital, bit by bit, my sense of control over my life is taken away. Without control, I don't have what life once offered me. When I eat, sleep, or just watch TV is usually decided by someone else. I have always been an independent person. If being here only for another few days were the situation, maybe I'd hold on. But it's not that way. Sooner or later, I'll be back again, and this same old routine will start up again. I don't know who to blame anymore. At first, I blamed the hospital staff. There isn't much trust in me towards them. Now, all I know is that I just want out. It's all too hard. I want Joe Lehner and Frank Thomas to know they did all they could. I mean, my life and what's happened to it is what it is. Don't blame yourselves. A lot of people who were in here for help got help, even if they had to come back as much as I have.